You know what? I'm gonna say it. I think Scream is the best horror franchise out of all the big horror franchises. I'm not gonna say Ghostface is the king of them all, but I think the Scream movies, out of all of them, are the best one, because we're in the 6th one, and they're still this good.
Here's Johnny. My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Expecto Patronum!
Scream 6 stars Melissa Barrera, Courteney Cox, and Jenna Ortega, and is about the survivors of the Ghostface killings leave Woodsboro behind and start a fresh chapter in New York City. From directors Radio Silence, who gave us Ready or Not and last year's Scream, aka Scream 5, which I really liked. I really thought that movie brought back the old cast and brought in new cast members and mashed it together and gave us a really fun, awesome Scream movie, and at this moment was my favorite sequel. But guys, Scream 6, going to New York. I was a little worried. We're going to New York, we're trying something different. I'm fine with that. But I'm here to say this might be my favorite sequel. The biggest praise is our 4 main leads. I think this friendship feels just as close as it did in the first movie between all the original cast members. Seriously, because in this movie, you feel these characters, and the movie gives you time throughout this entire movie to care about these characters. Like Chad, Cuba Gooding's son in this movie, I liked him way more in this movie than the last one. And of course his sister, who is just the perfect Randy for 2023. She is also in this movie, and she's back. She's great. But of course, Melissa and Jenna Ortega are our 2 main leads. But these 4 together, I love them in this movie. And we have a Ghostface attack again. It's set in New York City, which the setting alone makes this movie just a little better than the last. Seriously, this setting felt just more claustrophobic, even though it's such a big city and there's so many more people in this city. You could just feel a difference in this Scream franchise just with New York City. And with all these new characters coming back, I was very worried that they were going to add just too much, do way too much, take too much chances where it just ruined the franchise. No, Radio Silence keeps that meta comedy with the actual horror of Ghostface, because Ghostface in this movie, Roger L. Jackson's voice, beautiful, no issues whatsoever. Ghostface himself is actually scary in this movie. He is brutal. This is one of, if not the most brutal Ghostface we have gotten, and there are some great kills, great practical kills, and I was loving it. Of course, we get Hayden Panettiere back as Kirby. She was awesome. Seriously, I was really just kind of worried about her character, because in Scream 4, we all thought she died, but in Scream 5, there was a little Easter egg that she lived, and Wes Craven always wanted her to return, and in this movie, I felt like she was just perfect. She was a perfect add-on to this movie, and her help in this movie is very important as what her new job is. And of course, Courteney Cox is back, and I'm gonna say it. Courteney Cox, Gale Weathers has one of the best scenes in the entire franchise in this movie. It is awesome. Ghostface and her have a great scene, and any Scream fan out there are going to love this movie. But the general audience fans that really enjoy just Ghostface, the killings, and the scares, I think this might be the scariest one for you to go see. Seriously, I think the general audience can just enjoy this movie for being how scary and intense the movie is, while also adding in the meta fun that we all expect from Scream. So just as a diehard Scream fan, I'm loving it, but I would totally go see this movie again, which I'm going to, and bring friends that aren't Scream fans. This is Scream 6, but they are keeping the franchise fresh. Adding in New York, adding in these characters, and there's more dynamic to these major 4 actors, giving them more time in this movie to care about them. But again, the gore, the blood, the kills, who is it, who's Ghostface, all leads to a 3rd act, which I really enjoyed. But I did predict the killer, I predicted the reveal, and I predicted exactly what was gonna happen in certain things, to where there are things in the very beginning. The opening scene, it is just as good as Drew Barrymore's, almost. Drew Barrymore's is still the best scene ever, opening scene ever, but this opening is gory and just like, oh, and then it's like, oh, and they took a chance, and I loved it. But at the very end, when we get to reveal Ghostface and you get to see the killer, I sat there and I said to myself, they took a chance with this movie, and I think it paid off, but I think people aren't gonna like this reveal. I think this might be a make it break it for some people. For me, they took a chance, I had fun with it, and I enjoyed it. I did predict it, but that's okay. Overall, if I had more issues, I would say it's probably 15 minutes too long. There's a few things that could be shaved off, but in the end, I love Scream franchise. Scream 1 is one of my favorite movies of all time, and so for the 6th movie to be as good as it is, give me more. I'm gonna give Scream 6 an A-. I need to see it again before I officially say it's my favorite sequel, but literally coming out of this theater, like, the energy of this movie, the buzz around this movie, everyone around me was like, that was a good Scream movie, and I agree. This one is really good, guys. I definitely recommend it, and it might be my favorite sequel. Again, this is my first viewing, so I'm all jittery. I was excited. It's one of my most anticipated movies of the year, so I gotta calm down a little bit, but I will see it again, trust me. And guys, you guys enjoyed this movie review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.